what's up my loves? My name is Mina. Welcome to my channel Mina Reads, and today we are doing my June TBR. So happy Pride Month everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And this month I have a lot of stuff that I want to read. I don't know, I have like all these grand ambitions, all these videos I want to film, you know, all these vlogs I want to make, all the books I want to read. So I just thought that I'd share a few of my reading plans this month with you guys. So this month is actually, I think, is going to be pretty fantasy heavy for me. Typically I read a lot of romance and stuff, but I feel slightly burnt out on romance, so I want to dive back into my fantasy sci-fi bag. So I only have one or maybe two romances on this month's TBR. So the first one is Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite, and this is a historical romance about these two women. I believe one is a widower and the other one is an astronomer. Basically the widow needs this astronomer girl to like transcribe some of her husband's notes and like his life work, so they end up working together on this astronomy project, and then like they fall in love. And I've heard really amazing things about this. I've also heard that it's kind of steamy, which is exciting, and I've been kind of diving into historical romance recently, so I'm hoping that this will be one that I absolutely love. So then the other romance on my TBR is going to be Queen Move by Kennedy Ryan, and you may have seen me mention this in my 5-star predictions video, but I want to just hurry up and get to this because I keep putting it off and I really want to read a Kennedy Ryan book soon. So I decided that Queen Move is going to be the first one. Okay, so Queen Move, I believe we're following these two characters, Kimba and Ezra, and they were childhood friends, and this is going to be like a childhood friends to lovers story because they became like estranged for a time, and I believe that he might be taken at the beginning of the book, and this is going to be their love story. I don't know how it's going to play out. I haven't heard all that much about this book, but it's like the plot and everything, but I know that a lot of people really love it, and Kennedy Ryan in general is just really highly praised, so I feel like I'm gonna like it, but who knows? It sounds a little bit scandalous, and I've been really into friends to lovers romances recently, so hopefully this will be really good. So then I have two other non-fantasy picks. So the first one is On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, and I believe this is kind of like a poetic literary fiction novel, and it's about this character named Little Dog, and he's writing a letter to his mother who's illiterate, so it's not ever meant to be read by her, but it's just kind of him getting out all of his emotions and complex feelings about her and their relationship, and how their family history has kind of influenced the way that he was raised and the pain that it caused him and everything like that. I've heard that the writing in this is really beautiful and it's really heartbreaking, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and I've been wanting to read it for years, so I'm finally going to get to it this month. I have to do it. Fingers crossed I will get to it and I will absolutely love it. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. All right, and so the last non-fantasy thing that I'm going to show you is Her Body and Other Parties, which I don't know, it might be fantasy. On the back it mentioned that there might be like some psychological realism and fabulism involved, but Her Body and Other Parties is a short story collection about women and violence that is enacted against women, various types of violence that women may encounter in their lives, and I believe each story kind of delves into different genres. So some are more like horror, some are more psychological, some have like some fabulism elements to it. So technically it's not fantasy, but there might be some like, you know, fantasy-esque elements in it. And I really loved In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. I read that last year, yeah, so I read it last year. It was amazing, and I definitely want to read more of her work, so hopefully I'm going to get to this one. Now we're moving into the fantasy and the sci-fi that I want to read this month. So the next book that I want to read is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. This is the second book in the Red Rising series, saga, I don't know, something like that. But this series is about a character named Darrow, and Darrow, he is a red, and there is a societal caste system based on colors. So the golds are at the top and the reds are at the bottom, and Darrow is a red, and his people have been basically being used as slave labor, and they have been lied to for generations and been told that they are actually like terraforming Mars and getting it ready for humanity to colonize it, when in actuality there's like a life of luxury that's being lived on the surface while they are toiling underground. So our character Darrow, he joins this kind of resistance movement, and he is infiltrating Golden Society. So this second book is about Darrow after he is very firmly planted in Golden Society, and he is trying to cause political upheaval because, you know, him and his friends are trying to start a revolution. basically. So I'm already reading this. Actually, as you might be able to tell by the bookmark, I'm like 150 pages into it. So far so good, but I think I want to read this and maybe the third book just to finish out the trilogy this month. We'll see, because these books are really fast reads. They're very fast paced, and I love the way that Pierce Brown writes. It's very engaging, so I feel like I might be able to finish this book in a really short amount of time. So maybe I'll also get to Morningstar this month. Alright, so the next book that I have is The Perfect Assassin by K.A. Dorr, and this is a desert fantasy, and we're following this character called Amastan, and Amastan, he is training to be an assassin, and at the beginning of the book, he is taking his like assassin test so that he can graduate and actually be like given assignments and things like that. So Amastan, he basically ends up like discovering the body of this political figure, and he basically ends up like unraveling this mystery of what's going on in their town. It sounds interesting. Hopefully there's lots of assassinations, maybe a little bit of violence, I don't know. Hopefully it'll be good, but I want to pick this one up because I believe that this is queer. I've heard that it's queer. I don't know how it's queer, but it sounds like it could be interesting, and I want to read more queer fantasy, so I'm gonna give it a shot. Next up, we have This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal Al-Mukhtar and Max Gladstone. This is a sci-fi novel. It's told in a series of letters between these two characters, Red and Blue. And Red and Blue, they are basically enemies in a time war, and they are both working for two different organizations who want the future to turn out in a specific way. So they are each trying to make their designated future happen, and as they're doing this and as they're doing all of these like time heist, so to speak, they are sharing these letters with one another, and in so doing they fall in love. And this is sapphic. Everyone that I know that has read it absolutely loved it, cried and everything like that, so I want to give it a shot. I'm a little bit intimidated by it because people say that it's very confusing, so I've been intimidated by it even though it's like really short, but this month I'm going to conquer my fears. Okay, so the next book is The Last Sun by K.D. Edwards. This is another queer fantasy, and so this book is about this character named Rune. He is like the last descendant of the Sun Court, I believe, and basically him and his bodyguard, they now do work for other people in this Atlantean society. So he has been tasked with finding the missing son of somebody named Lady Justice. I believe this series is inspired by like the tarot deck, so all of the different tarot cards are there. I don't know anything about tarot, so I'm sorry, but this is like, it does have tarot influences. This is like an adventure fantasy. I'm really excited by it. It sounds really fun. It sounds really cool, and I have read a few pages of it like last year, but I just never continued with it, so hopefully it'll be really good. This is the first book in like a longer series, so it would be great if I loved this and I could continue on with it. Then we have Son of the Storm by Suyi Davies Onkombawa, and this book is about a scholar named Danso, and Danso, he essentially stumbles upon this warrior, and the warrior wields a kind of magic that actually should not exist, and so basically it causes Danso to go down this path of investigating the hidden mysteries and the secrets that his city has been hiding and what's going on outside the city's walls. So it's basically him unraveling like the mysteries of his city. I'm really excited about this. I've never read a fantasy that was from the point of view of like a scholar, so I think it'd be interesting to see what that's like, because he's not your typical like action hero protagonist, so hopefully it'll be really interesting. Everyone that I've seen that's already read it has really liked it, so fingers crossed. Also, I've heard that there are multiple POVs in this book, and one of the POV characters is a queer lady, so very excited by that. And the last book that I have here is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. Basically what I know about The Jasmine Throne is that it is a sapphic South Asian fantasy. So we're following these two characters, one who is like a princess, I think, and she is trapped by her tyrant brother, and then the other character is a maidservant, and basically they team up to kind of overthrow this government, set this empire ablaze, is what this says on the back of the cover. So that sounds interesting. I'm excited by it. Hopefully it'll be absolutely amazing, and it seems like the maidservant has like a hidden past that we'll be discovering, so I'm excited by it. All right, so here's my TBR. A bit intimidated by it all, but hopefully I'll be able to get to it. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.